Hey, this is Nola Ada, and you are now rocking with Il McKenzie, right here. Hey, this is Nola Ada, and you are now rocking with Il McKenzie, right here.
Yo, what up, world? It's your man 504 Detroit. You already know every Tuesday and every Thursday I'm tuned in to the hottest radio station across the land, Quarantine Radio. They close it down and they play all the hottest new music. Let's get it.
It's your boy Gabe, and I want to give a big shout out to Quarantine Radio. Make sure you check them out every Tuesday and every Thursday. And thank you for supporting my new single, Down Low.
I want to hear that new soul-free wisdom on Quarantine Radio.
Yo, what's up, man? It's the kid Swift, baby. Young Swift. One time for the check-in with my dog, my homie, Il McKenzie. Straight out of ATL, Georgia. And you know how we rocking out here, baby. Let's get it.
Being humble get no respect.
Yes, it's your boy iDub once again with another edition of Quarantine Radio. I do apologize about the technical difficulty at the beginning of the show, but we're here, and just to let you know, just a rundown of everything that's going on with Quarantine Radio, Quarantine Enterprise, and everything. I've been talking about this all week, the past couple of weeks or whatnot. This Saturday, Together's Everything is hosting a business speed dating event. I know a lot of people have heard of a speed dating event and everything. This is for business owners. If you're a business owner, a potential business owner, wannabe entrepreneur, everything, this will be a good experience for you. They're still selling tickets on togetherseverything.net/event. This will actually help you potentially find a new business partner or just learn about what it takes to actually get into the business industry or become an entrepreneur and everything. You can learn stuff from other people and stuff like that. I'm guessing it's more like, because if you some people have seen a speed dating event or everything, or you might see it on TV. The cool thing about this is that they actually have color bracelets for everybody that's actually an entrepreneur, a supporter, or just a person trying to get into business. So like there's different, so like you'll know exactly who you're talking to and who you're trying to get network with and everything. So that's a good thing. You can get your tickets at togetherseverything.net/event. And as I stated, next week I am going to be promoting another event. I'm also going to be giving away tickets to that event. So you want to be paying attention to when I start promoting for that event. So next week I will start promoting for another event. So stay tuned on that. Other thing, we are, as I've been saying to everybody, we are starting our own flag football team. See if I can put up the flyer in the. See how that looks in. Nope, it's not focused. It's not focused at all. See if he can. Yeah, if he can. No, the words aren't focused at all. Well, you might have seen the flyer up on my Instagram or something like that. We are trying to get a women's flag football team. If you go to my YouTube page, you actually see where I filmed a flag football team all last fall season and all last spring season. We are trying to get a team for the spring season. So if you are a woman wants to get into sports, trying to get in shape, because we also have personal trainers on the team. And if you heard last week, the massage therapist, Megan, she's actually going to be on the team, and we are actually going to be working out, actually paying partial. If you're on the team, we won't pay partial of you actually having massages with her and everything. It's not going to be a free massage. You are going to have to pay something, but we are going to aid you with that. So that's one of the
perks.
Yeah, perks. That's the word I was looking for being on our team. All right. So those are just a couple of things. Email me at info@quarantineenterprise.com. That's info@quarantineenterprise.com if you are interested in being part of our women's flag football team. Other than that, we're going to talk to Xavier, our credit repair expert, later. I'm about to play a couple of songs. Once I come back, we're going to interview him. It's going to be a throwback show, so I'm actually going to be playing songs that if you've been with Quarantine Radio for a minute, you might recognize some of these songs. First track is going to be Hard Habit by Joshua Gunn featuring Slim from 112. This is Hard Habit with Joshua Gunn featuring Slim from 112. All right?
Gunner. Hey Slim, nobody saw this one coming, man.
I'm the reason why.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby.
Spread our lifestyle. You can say that I'm the reason why you waking up in cold sweats and can't sleep at night. I got your text messages, you deleted mine. About how you sexing him, you wish it was me inside. He don't beat it right, he can't even eat it right. Dinner date, shrimp and steak, he can't even buy it. Remember when you said I lose if I even tried? I'll Instagram my new whip, let you see inside. This look like losing to you, baby. Two beauties from Haiti and Houston, we doing 80. New movie producing with Luda and I'm debating. While you on your computer confusing about who I'm dating. Yeah, thought you about the OD. Got scared of the feeling and decided you should leave. I'm a drug in your vein and I cut so deep. Really hope you get the help you need, baby girl. I'm a hard habit kid, and it pains me to see you in the now like a child so see-through. At the club every night and all see-through. On the sneak reading my tweets, ain't that a fiend move? Remember me and you in better days. College promises said that we would never change. I knew you well, baby, I could read your every face. It's in your eyes, but it burns like pepper spray. I guess you going through withdrawals, I'm going through deposits. Ain't you see me in the mall? Open up your options and you thinking you was wrong. I'll never take you back and forever it's so long. Oh, you said you didn't need Josh. Guess you and Dr. Dre both probably never detox. I guess I cut too deep. I really hope you get the help you need, baby girl. Oh. Never said it would be easy, but you didn't believe me. Like a smoker to a cigarette, I bet you ain't forget me yet. Hey baby, I'm a hard habit kid. Come on. I bet you think this song is about you, don't you? I bet you think this song is about you. I'm the reason why. Smoking to a cigarette. I guess you ain't forget me yet. I know, baby. With the utmost sincerity, way you acting is embarrassing. From rehab to your relapse, I ain't never coming back. Hey, baby. Remember we used to ride around listening to 112 3 CD in the car? You used to say how much you love Slim's voice. What about now?
Just can't get you out of my mind.
Yes, sir. I love this one. I feel like it's 67 and I'm signing stacks or some shit. Got a fiance, think it's Beyonce. Man, taste your hips with the face of Ashante. She got eyes that'll reach your soul, and her attitude hood like Keisha Cole. She was raised in the sticks, gotta keep it southern, I be craving them grits. We be patrolling the town, keep a nigga motivated and she holding me down. She venereal sick, and she never get impressed with material shit. She complete the grind, vacate to Miami for a peace of mind. She got a hell of a backside. She the type of chick make a minister backslide. I'ma reach your spot, and you call me Big Daddy when I beat your box. Cute little thing. Wish you was mine when I first laid eyes on you. Love them legs and them caramel thighs on you. Sweeter than summer rain. Wanna eat you to your soul and feed my hunger pains. You stuck with me on the come up. Never intimidated with chicken heads run up. Yeah, you the truth, all factual. No makeup, the hair is all natural. Make you wanna put a king on it. Take you out of your hell to put a ring on it. Yeah, and you handle your BI. Tiger in the sack, you can handle the DI. I wanna light your wrist. You a project chick, you don't like the kiss. Live in the Darien shop. You like cream and peaches with a cherry on top. Cute little thing. Dedicated to all them cute chicks. Yeah, you need a place to crash, holla at your boy. You cute little thing. Yeah.
Rolling with my crew, this ain't nothing new. Compass on my days of dupes, and I'm still better than you. If you think you got it, tell that to my body. Playing with my drums until the beat. Give yourself to me, it has to be somebody. I wanna be the one when we leave in this party. Maybe for one night, or maybe on the run. Your love is like a chemical, baby, you're a drug. You've been running around causing trouble like the demon you are. Oh, 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 and I've been down and uptown, loving just collecting hearts. I could be yours to party, and night only, one night only, know you're lonely. I could be yours to party, and night only, one night only, know you're lonely. After party, addicted to the heat, I got what you need. Press my pedal to the floor, boy, I just wanna speak. If you think you got it, tell that to my body. At the end of the night, you'll be saying bye. Give yourself to me. It has to be somebody. I wanna be the one when we leave in this party. Maybe for one night, or maybe on the run. Your love is like a chemical, baby, you're a drug. You've been running around causing trouble like the demon don't care about the rest of the world. It's me and you. Ain't nobody gonna shut this down, yeah, yeah. I can be lost a party. And night only, one night only, no, yeah, only. I can be lost a party. And night only, one night only, no, yeah, one night. After party, party. After party, I can be lost a party. And night only, one night only, no, you're lonely. After party.
Alright, we're back. First track was Joshua Gunn, Hard Habit featuring Slim from 112. Second track was Big Sin with Cute Little Thing. And third track was Jilly Anderson with After Party. I know that we interviewed Joshua Gunn a few years back. I know if you go back in the archives, you'll be able to see that. And we interviewed Jilly Anderson a few years back as well. I don't think she does music anymore. I've been seeing her doing like skits and everything on her Instagrams and stuff like that. But I haven't seen her doing music anytime recently and whatnot. But tonight we have on the show, like I said, this week it seemed like it just worked out that it's kind of like a finance week. Tuesday we had a real estate on the show. Today we have a credit repair expert on the show. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
All right. Well, hi, everybody. My name's Xavier Mee. Like he said, I've been in credit now for about 3 years. So that's my field of expertise. My favorite thing about it, personally, is just being able to bring value to the community. Because I just feel like financial literacy was something that, a lot of people wasn't taught in school. Mostly everybody. You go pay $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 for a college education, and you got all this student loan debt, and you still don't know, how credit works. You don't know financial literacy, which is something crucial. I feel it's a very pivotal foundation, especially for the urban community. It's just something a lot of us don't get. So that really kind of urged me to be proactive and to start learning things on my own, so that number one, I could be an asset to myself, but also an asset to my family and my community. So definitely want to share as many nuggets as I can, looking for as many questions. I'm an open book, so the only stupid question is the question unasked. So ask all questions.
Yeah, I was actually saying that Tuesday as well, because like I wish I knew some of the stuff that I knew now.
Tell me about
because like nothing against my parents or anything, but like they just taught me that credit cards were evil.
Yeah.
And when I got older and actually took a credit finance class in school, I realized that can help you if you manage your credit card correctly. It can actually help you in everything. So if I had actually got a credit card back then and actually did it correctly, I know now. I think it's like I've owned probably, I believe, like 7 cards, and I did dumb things with 2 of them and maxed them out, which I wish I did done that. But I've been trying to keep up with the ones that I do have. But like and then you find out that some of the cards are owned by the same bank and everything. So like it's real bad when you max out one card and then you try to apply to another card and it's owned by that same bank that you had maxed out. So as far as, because like that's one of the things with a lot of people is, like personally me too, they don't want to go look at their credit because they're scared of what they're going to see or try to repair it and stuff like that. So what do you actually tell people or advise them, like when they come to you about it? Because like there's like a lot of people don't want to go into that finance or even touch it because one, like if you run your credit report, they're scared that it's going to hurt their credit for just by running it and everything. Because like I remember when I went to go look for cars, I got an alert from Credit Karma. Somebody's running your credit and everything just right then and there. Like I got the alert right then and there. and stuff like that. So what do you do is like when somebody come to you and like just to ease their mind on how you can help them and what steps you can, even though like their credit might be low or something like that.
Absolutely, that's a great question. So, that's a very complex answer, but to make it very simple, everybody's credit is in a different situation. So I approach everybody with a different approach. So to where your credit, you may have maxed out credit cards, you may have charged off accounts, collections, judgments. You may have, no credit at all, and you need to build credit. You need to, rebuild and boost your credit and then maintain it. So it's all depending on what situation you're in. But when I talk with people, the consultation, number one, I always ask people what their number one goals are with their credit. And one thing I will tell you, I'll touch on very briefly that you talked about that I'm definitely glad I can answer is when you're checking your own credit, does not affect your credit report at all. The reason you've seen when Credit Karma gave you that alert, when you go to a car lot, I actually used to sell cars before, so I know this from prior experience as well. Most car lots, when you go to apply for a car, they'll run your credit with 3 or 4 different financial institutions, especially if your credit is below what they consider good or great. So if you have average credit, they'll run it without telling you. So you always got to go in there, and once you're empowered and you know what type of questions they ask, then they know they just can't get over on you. Yeah. Most people don't know, so they just act on the ignorance, not in a bad way, but just people not knowing. They just act on what they do at a car lot. So they'll run your credit report 3 or 4 times trying to see who they can get you approved through and who they can get the most money with. So that's why, and the more people they run it with, the lower your score is. Now, with Credit Karma or Equifax, because I use Equifax credit monitoring, I just like the way that their setup is. But you can use a whole bunch of different people. Like you got Credit Check Total, you got Credit Karma, you got Equifax, you got Experian, you got TransUnion, you got Smart Credit. You have all these different tools and resources that you can use to actually monitor your credit. And you can pull your credit, for example, you can pull your credit 360 days a year. So every day, if you want to pull your credit, you can, and it doesn't affect you. That's what they call a soft credit pool.
Yeah. And I noticed when I used to work for a rental car company, that's how we did it. Because we had to, we definitely did a soft credit check when we were renting out vehicles. And I would tell people all the time, hey, I got to run a soft credit check on you. When I run your name, when I put it in the system, it's going to do it. It's not going to affect you, but it's going to let me know if I can rent this car to you or not. So, because I had people ask that question all the time. Well, how is this going to affect my credit? Is it 1 point? Is it 2 points, 3 points, half a point? What's it going to do? Right. And I just tell them what it was. I think with us, I do think it was a half a point. Okay. It was either half a point or nothing. I can't remember. This was a few years back, but I know we ran a soft credit check every time. And I would tell people, I mean, if you know you have like really bad credit or you're trying to do something with your credit, like buy a house and you can't afford it, then put it under someone else's name or just find another way to do it. Because I don't want to be the reason I run this and then it messes you up and now you're complaining.
Well, that's a good thing you at least told it, because some of these companies, they don't even tell people. That's a bad thing. That is a horrible thing, I think. And
I'm glad you spoke on the whole car lot situation, because that definitely happened to me in the past. I went to go look for a car. This was years ago, and I was at a car lot, and they definitely ran my credit. At that time, I didn't know the questions to ask. I didn't know what to look for. But I went in there with knowing what my credit score was, and then when I walked out, it was lower, and I was like, wait a minute. And it was like 4 marks on it from them checking it with 4 different people. And I was just like, I'm not going to let this happen again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my first question to you is, what got you into doing credit?
Oh, man. I'll make it short. So, like he touched on, nothing to blame my parents, but the old adage is, your parents love you and they want to give you the best life, but they can only teach you what they can teach you. They don't know what they don't know. You know what I'm saying? So my parents wasn't great with credit. So they had bad credit. So in return, because that's all I know and I don't have anybody to teach me inside of my household, I'm going to have bad credit too. I'm not going to understand how it works. Yeah. So I got to a point where I maxed out some credit cards, not understanding the rules in the game of credit, thinking that, that money is just free money. And then next thing you know, my credit score is 470, 480. And I'm trying to go get a car. I mean, I can't even get finance for a bag of chips. I was like, man, what is really going on? And I've actually paid as much as $1,200 to get my credit fixed before. And I always tell this story because when I got it fixed, got it to like a 650 at that point, and I thought that was amazing, but honestly, that's very average. And like I said, I paid $1,200 for that, and the company that fixed it, it was more like a smaller company who did it. They didn't teach me about credit. They didn't give me any tools or resources for me to learn and get an education on my own. So they just fixed it, and they just gave it to me. Well, once the credit report was fixed. And here's the problem with that. Somebody does something for you. If they give you a fish, you can only eat for so long.
One moment. I think that's our other co-host.
Okay.
Joy? One moment. Let me see if I can fix you. Joy?
Yeah.
Okay. So we got you good. All right. He was just finishing answering the question and everything. I'm gonna let him finish that.
Yep. And like you were saying, why I got into it, and you give a person a fish, they can eat for that day. But if you teach them how to fish, they can eat for a lifetime.
Yeah.
So my goal was, I said, you know what? I want to get a company. I want to learn a certain skill set to where I can help people rebuild, boost, and repair their credit, but also give them tools and resources to where if they want to get the education for themselves, I can give them the tools and resources to do so. So not only am I empowering them, I'm empowering their circle of friends, because more than likely, birds of a feather flock together.
Yep.
So if you have bad credit and you have 5 people around you, more than likely their credit is not that great either. Because when I read the book Think and Grow Rich, one thing that people don't emphasize enough is that mastermind, the group of people that you keep around you.
Yeah.
All you guys saying this, share the same energy. Anything you think, everything you're doing, it all permeates in that group. So if one person knows something, then you share with the rest of the group. So if I empower you, that means I empowered your whole circle of friends. And then I empower their circle of friends and their family, and it extended. It goes on, and that affects the lineage and the generational tree as well. So that was my vision. I wanted to not only empower myself, empower my family, empower my friends, but empower even strangers that I don't even know, because I've been in that situation.
Yeah.
I know what it feels like to have bad credit, to get approved for a car and have a 17% interest rate where I'm paying $500 for a car when I should really be paying $200, or going to apply for an apartment and I don't get approved because they're looking at a credit score. They're not looking at me, a person needing somewhere to live. So that was the main reason I got started. I seen a vision and I had a goal to be able to not just affect my friends and my family, but to affect my community, and to even go bigger than that. One of my goals is to help repair, rebuild, and boost 10,000 people's credit. Okay. That's my first goal.
Oh, wow. That 10,000 people, that's a lot of people.
It's crazy that you mentioned about on the 600, because I know that my credit at one point was in the mid 600s, and I didn't know that was a good score and everything. And so at times I was kind of scared to actually apply for stuff and everything, because I didn't realize that it was a nice score compared to what I have now and stuff like that. So it's the educational part and everything, because it was I forgot why I didn't. It wasn't until I talked to somebody and I was like, I was kind of embarrassed that it was in the 600. I'm like, why are you embarrassed? It's good that it's in the 600 and stuff like that. Yeah, and then, so it's all about knowledge and stuff like that. And like I said, that's one thing. When I have kids, I want to make sure they understand, because I really don't want them to go through what I went through and stuff like that, and how to actually build up your credit and everything. Because it's really I said, I just wish I really knew what I know now. But I'm gonna see if Joy has a question.
Okay.
No, I was just listening on how to repair the credit. I have a question. Okay. How long, if you let's just say 5 years, if you had something on your credit that may have been really bad, that it'll cause your score to get really low, how would that still be towards your credit now?
Depending on what it is. So you have different things that last as long as 10 years on your credit, and some things as long as 7 years. So do you have an example? in terms of something that will be affecting you negatively? And if not, I can give you some examples, but I just want to kind of personalize it for you just in case you have something specific that you want me to touch on.
All right, I'll let you do the examples.
Okay. So, for example, charge-offs, meaning let's just say you had a credit card and you had a $5,000 limit, and you maxed out that credit card and you end up not paying it off. And say for example, that line of credit was with Capital One. Capital One says, okay, this person hasn't paid me on this credit card for 3 months. What I'm going to do is I'm going to charge this account off. They're going to write it off as a loss, so they can write it off on their taxes at the end of the year. You still owe the debt, but they're going to write it off, and they're going to sell that contract, that debt that you owe, to a third-party company called a collection agency, right? So that's going to be a negative on your report as a charge-off and as a collection. Charge-off and collections can last as long as 7 years. All right, for example. Now, bankruptcies and judgments can last as long as 10 years. Those are viewed a little harshly and stay on your credit report a little longer if you don't have a company or if you don't know how to dispute those negative items off of your credit report.
Okay, so what can, right now, if that was still a factor, if it is, what can I do right now to raise my credit score?
I would say if you had negative things, the number one thing you need to do is, if you don't know how, get somebody or hire a company that can dispute those negative items off of your credit report. Because as long as they're there, they're going to be dragging you down. There are other things that you can do in order to lift it, but more than likely some of the things that you would have to do is going to require you to have decent credit to where you can acquire those things to raise your score. So if you're having those negative things on your report that's impeding your process of being able to do certain things, the number one thing you want to do is dispute those negative items off of your report. And if you don't know how to do that, getting a company to do that, like mine, I would say would be the best route.
Okay. And so what is it called?
What is what called?
Oh, I thought you said, what did you say before you said getting it taken care of?
Oh,
the best way.
Yes, disputing it off of your credit report. So under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the government allows any person to dispute anything that is on their credit report. By law, you can dispute anything. Even if you physically know that is your debt and you owe it, you still can dispute it and get it off of your credit report. It is not against the law to do so.
Oh, wow. So I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't. And here's an interesting fact, an interesting statistic. 80% of people's credit reports have wrong, erroneous, or misleading information on their credit report.
Oh, wow.
So there's a lot of people, so here's what a lot of financial institutions do. Not saying it's bad, not saying it's good. This is just the game. It is what it is. A lot of these institutions know that people don't know that they can dispute things off of their credit report. And a lot of people know they don't check it because they're scared of their credit report. So some financial institutions will report wrong things on your credit report. They will even hire collection agencies to reach out to you to pay a debt. And with you being scared and some people just paying it so it can get off their credit report, people are literally sometimes getting ripped off from debt collectors that they don't even owe. So the number one thing I always tell people is stay on top of your credit report. Get all 3 credit bureaus. Get your Experian, your Equifax, and your TransUnion. Print them out. Whatever tool you want to use, whether it's Equifax or Credit Karma, Credit Check Total, print out your 3 bureau credit report and go through line by line and make sure everything that's on your credit report is accurate. Because a lot of people have erroneous and obsolete and wrongful things that they don't even owe on their credit report. And those are going to be the easiest to dispute right away.
Yeah, because that sounds like that's more or less on a matter of, hey, this isn't me.
Yeah, this isn't mine. Exactly.
So, now I know a lot of people, are worried about hospital bills and not paying hospital bills.
Yep.
How does that affect your credit?
So, and here's the thing, and the government, there's some negotiations right now, and it looks like they're leaning towards the consumer side. In the next year to year and a half, hospital bills are almost going to be obsolete to where they can't even report those to your credit report anymore, even if you default and you don't pay on them. As of right now, they still report to your credit report. So by all means, pay them off. And even when they don't report, I'm not encouraging for you to just pile up debt with medical bills just because they don't report it. But it's actually one of the smaller things. it doesn't affect your credit report as much, but it still can be something that can weigh your credit report down.
Yeah.
To keep you from getting to that optimal goal that you ultimately want.
Okay, because I know growing up, I always heard, with different people that, there were people that were saying it doesn't affect your credit. But then you have people on the other side that are saying it actually does affect your credit, but it doesn't affect it, in a way, as you just said, like where it's really hurting you and stopping you from doing a lot of things. Yep. But if you're racking up bills on top of bills on top of bills, then it's something different.
Absolutely. What I want to do, just really quick for all the listeners, great questions by far, by the way. I just want to go through some fundamentals and basically teach you on how your credit report is actually calculated, because a lot of people don't know this at all. And if you're going to learn anything, if you're going to be able to make a plan and execute on it, anything in life, you need to know the rules. Because if you don't know the rules of the game, you can't play. Well, you can play, but you're not probably going to play to win. So you need to definitely know the rules in anything before you put yourself into the arena.
Yeah.
So the way that your credit report is actually calculated, number one, there's two different calculations. You have the FICO and you have the Vantage score. And a lot of people don't know that. So 95% of all financial institutions use the FICO. The other 5 to 7% may use the Vantage. And I always tell people, don't get too caught up on both of them. FICO is used primarily by both financial institutions, so kind of focus on that the most. So the way that they actually calculate your score, first thing, biggest thing is your payment history. That's going to be 35% of your score. So there, these financial institutions, before they lend credit to you or give you loans or let you finance a car or a house, they want to see if you're paying your payments on time. So the things that you already have, credit with, or things you have financed. So one thing I always tell people, make sure you're paying everything on time. Everything. And there are letters to where you can actually ask for, late payment forgiveness, and I can actually reach out to you guys and get you documents on certain things that you can mail out and you can call to tell them to give you that forgiveness for, but it's just a simple rule. Pay your bills on time. That's the largest percent of what your credit score is calculated on. The second thing, 30%, is going to be how much you owe. So what this is called your utilization rate. So for example, if you have 3 credit cards, let's say for easy math, each card has $5,000. So you have a total of $15,000. What you don't want to do, you don't want to use over 30% of your total credit limit across all 3 cards. Some people thought that, okay, I don't want to use 30% of just one of my credit cards. No, the way your credit report looks at it, the amount of credit that you have is the amount of all the credit. So if you had 4 credit cards, they're looking across all 4, cumulatively, all of them added together. So, for easy math, if you had $10,000, don't use over 3. Once you go over 30%, it starts affecting your credit report negatively. So, how much you owe. You always want to keep your utilization of credit under 30%. Third thing is going to be your length of credit.
I got a question right quick.
Okay.
Because I also heard that, because this is what I heard that a lot of people get wrong, is that they'll get a credit card and not use it. And I've heard that that's a negative thing as well.
Absolutely. You want to use it. So even if, let's just say you have $2,000 on a credit card. Even if you're only using $15 or $30, you buy something small and just pay it off at the end of the month, or even leave a little balance. Leave like $2 or $3. Because what these financial institutions want to see is that they're actually making some money off of you, that they're making some type of interest. Because if you're just using it and then paying it all down to zero, those financial institutions,
that was another thing I heard.
They're gonna see you as, well, he's not even really using the credit. We're not making any money off of him. So one thing they're not going to be able to do for you is probably increase your credit limit. And that's going to be a way that you can increase your score as well. So if you start, say a credit card company gives you $500, eventually you want to grow that $500 to $1,000, grow that $1,000 to $2,000, $2,000 to $5,000, $5,000 to $10,000. So for example, I have a credit card, one $15,000, another one $10,000, and another one $5,000. The $5,000 that I have, I'm probably going to grow that to at least $10,000 to $15,000 inside of the next 2 months. So you're always want to make sure that you're using your credit. You never want to close any credit accounts in terms of credit cards, because what that's going to do is that's going to lower your score, because that's going to lower the length of history that you have in terms of your credit. And that's the next thing I was about to get into. The third thing that's going to affect your credit calculation score is going to be your length of credit history. So the longer that you hold positive credit, the larger your score is going to grow. And you probably heard the old term, that's old money right there. When
Yeah.
you're holding credit for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, your score is just growing. As long as you're paying everything on time, you're keeping your payments positive, you're keeping your utilization under 30%, your length of credit is just growing and growing and growing. And that's when you start seeing people in the 790s, 800s, 840s, 850s. So you want to maintain good credit over a period of time.
Is there any specific period of time, or just as long as you can?
As long as you can. I mean,
Okay.
as long as you want to keep a good credit score, you want to play the game. That's all it is. It's a game. That's all it is. So definitely your length of credit is important as well. It's 15%, not as big as how much you owe in your payment history, but it's a part of the calculation. Fourth thing is going to be your inquiries or new credit. So like you guys were talking about before, going to a car lot, what you want to do is you don't want to be applying for stuff every week. You don't want to be applying for stuff every month. You got to calculate and say, okay, well, I want to get a car this year, or I want to apply for 2 or 3 credit cards this year, or I'm going for a house this year, or I'm going for an apartment. You don't want to keep always applying for stuff, because the way the financial institutions and the credit bureaus view it is that you're a desperate borrower. So something that the way they see it is when they see you applying for 5 or 6 things inside of 1 week or even a month, they're saying, well, what's really going on? Is this guy in some type of financial debt? Is he in need? Why does he keep reaching out trying to get new credit, so much new credit inside of this short period of time? So you want to make sure you're spreading out the time that you're actually asking for new credit.
Now, does that also apply to when you have your credit cards and they're wanting to up your credit limit? Is that in that? Is that in there with that?
Yes, that is. So with Capital One, and I know this for sure because I have a Capital One card. With Capital One, you can actually ask for an increase in credit, and it's not a soft pull or a hard pull. They go off of how much you make, and they go off of your credit limit that you have with them at that point in time. And they also go off of if you've been paying your bills and how much you've been throwing at paying off that credit card. So they kind of go off the history that you have with them. So they don't pull your credit report with Capital One. Now, I also have credit cards with USAA, and this is how most financial institutions work. They will pull your credit report again to see if they're going to give you an increase in credit. So that is a part of it as an inquiry.
Okay.
So certain things that count as inquiries when you're applying for a house, if you're applying for an apartment, if you're applying for any type of, whether it's major credit cards, department store credit cards, meaning like Walmart, Jared's, BJ's, Dick's Sporting Goods, department store credit cards like that. So you want to keep your inquiries down as much as you can. Maybe 3 to 4 a year isn't bad. You definitely don't want to be closer to 5 to 10 a year.
I got a question because it kind of blows my mind. One, because I don't live with my mom and everything, but my mom gets Capital One mail from me pre-qualifying cards and everything, and it's the exact same card I already have. Why do you think that is?
Well, and sometimes these companies, they literally just send out solicitations and pre-qualified solicitations just to get you to looking up different credit cards. So it's their way of advertising and marketing to get you to, apply for new credit cards with that company. And like you said, because I get the same things. I have the same exact credit card, and they'll send me in my email or even in mail to apply for it. And I'm like, I already have this card. What is the point? What are you doing?
Yeah.
A lot of companies do that. That's just to get your mind wrapped around wanting to get new credit. So you'll be like, I already have that card, but let me see what other credit cards that they have, and then you start looking.
And then you start applying.
Exactly.
It took 4 or 5 cards, and you're just like, well, I can't apply for nothing else for the rest of the year.
Exactly. So yeah, absolutely. And now the fifth thing, and this is 10% of how they calculate your score, is going to be your mix of credit. And I think a lot of people lose sight of this one. I think this is important. Even though it's only 10%, it's big because the way the financial institutions view it. So your mix of credit, what you want to do is you want to have either a house, and this will be a perfect diverse portfolio in terms of credit. A house payment, so financing a house, having a car loan, having 2 to 3 major credit cards, and then also having 2 department store credit cards, because those are viewed differently than major credit cards. And that's what is creating that diversified portfolio. So it's showing that you can manage different types of credit. You can pay on your mortgage on time, or you can pay your rent on time. By the way, a lot of people don't know that you can actually get the rent that you pay reported on your credit report as just like a house.
Really?
So a lot of people who are in an apartment and they're like, I don't have too much credit. I don't think I have is my house. I don't think I have is my car. I don't have a house, so that's not going to report on my credit. But you can also get your rent reporting as well. And
so how does that?
Yeah, how do they do that? That's
so what happens is with my company it's a company, we're partnered with a company called Credit My Rent. They only report to TransUnion right now, but they're actually by January looking to report to Equifax and Experian as well. So all 3 credit bureaus. What they do is you give them your information, like your lease start date, your lease end date, how long you've been there, your monthly payment. They reach out to the landlord, and they reach out to the office, that maintains the dwelling. And they get them to verify and solidify what you're paying, your contract with them, and then they actually put your information on the credit bureau's credit reporting agency.
So why don't they do that automatically?
Because it would cost them to do that for every single person. But if you reach out to them, they have to do it.
If you reach out to the company.
Mm-hmm. And they go ahead and they verify it on their end for you to get them to report it up there. Because it would cost them quite a bit of money to just report everybody freely. And honestly, if you were to go in there and ask them to report, they're supposed to do it. But a company knows how to go about it in a better way than you do right now. So I would say getting somebody to do that for you, and it's a flat rate, and then it's like $9.99 a month for them to report it. Here's the good thing. They can retroact. Say you've been in an apartment for 3 or 4 years. They can go as far back as 2 years and report that from 2 years prior to when you were living in your apartment. So that's going to increase your credit score 30 to 50 points because that's increasing your length of history in terms of something that you're paying positive payments on time on your credit report.
Now, why do you think that is something that they don't report? Is it just because the amount of money that it would take to...
Yeah, just to cut costs, to improve their bottom line, honestly.
So to go back to the first point, you said it was the difference, the FICO, and then what was the other one called again? Advantage score. Now, is there a real big difference between the two of those scores or what they represent?
So FICO, for example, and that was the calculation I just gave you, the credit score calculation, the different percentages and how they calculate it. Vantage uses the similar chapters on how they judge it. They just use a different percentile on each subject that FICO uses.
Okay.
And like I tell people, Vantage probably in the next 10 to 15 years may grow stronger, may get some more momentum in terms of more financial institutions using them to give people and lend people credit. As of right now, FICO is still king. It's 95 to 96% of all financial institutions still use your FICO score. So Vantage, it's nice in theory, and it's another way that those institutions can use to lend you credit, but FICO is still reigning supreme right now. So I always tell people, don't worry so much about FICO and Vantage. Worry about the structure of your credit, because if your credit is structured correctly, then you're going to have a good score in both no matter what.
So for a person who is, say, 18-year-old teenager, just starting to wanting to build their credit, because before, they don't have credit cards, they don't have a car, they don't have anything. So for a person that's starting to build their credit, how would you tell them to go about building their credit? Like what to get first, whether a credit card or a car, or what to do first?
I would say, as soon as you can, get a secure credit card. Here's a little hack I'm going to tell you, though, before I tell you that. So the first thing I would say is get a secured credit card. So here's the difference between a secured and an unsecured credit card. Financial institutions and the credit bureaus view you having no credit worse than bad credit, surprisingly. So if you have nothing, they view you worse than somebody that has overpaid, late payments. They view you as horrible because you don't have anything. So they don't have anything to judge. So if you apply for a major credit card like a Discover unsecured card, they're going to deny you quicker than you can even apply. So unsecured card is actually a card that you put a deposit on. So say they give you a limit of $250 to $500. You have to put that deposit of the $250 to $500. It reports on your credit report like an unsecured credit card, but you have a certain limit that you can't go past. 500 would be the most, and you have to deposit that money in there. So you're pretty much funding your own credit card. And as you use it and you make positive payments on it over 2 to 6 months, then you can go apply for an unsecured credit card.
Okay, now what if they don't want to go with the unsecured credit card? Because I know a lot of people growing up, they didn't think that funding their own credit card was going to work, because they believe that if I'm going to get a credit card, I need to get one that already has a limit on it where I could just swipe it and use it.
Yeah, absolutely. In theory, that's great, but at the end of the day, if you don't have any credit, you have to start from somewhere. Yeah. You got to crawl before you walk. And here's a nice little trick that I learned, and like you're saying, I wish my parents knew, man. So this is what a lot of, these communities, the Asian community, the white community, just being honest, they know certain things growing up in their households just because certain information and knowledge is passed down through generations. So these are what these people do. They actually, even when their child is 4, 5, 6 years old, you ever heard of an authorized user before?
Yes.
Does that ring a bell? So this is what they do. So they've had credit for 30, 40, 50 years, these parents. They make their children authorized users on their credit cards. What that authorized user mean, that credit card reports on their child's credit report as if they have been on that credit card for the 30, 40 years. So they start out light years ahead of people that have not had anything, that wait till they're 16 or 18 to go apply for a secured or unsecured credit card. So by the time that they do get to 16, they're already at a 750 or they're already at an 800. And if they want to go apply for their own credit and apply for their own cars, apply for their own houses, they're getting the lowest interest rates possible. Because I always tell people, credit is just not about using credit, like going to spend money. It's about lowering the overall cost of your life. Everything that most people go apply for, it uses credit. So if you're going to a car lot and you get approved, but they say you're approved for 18%, and that car you're really supposed to be paying $200 for, you're paying $600 for until your credit goes up and you can go refinance. That is making you spend more money than you should be spending. So ultimately, that's hurting you. That's not helping you get ahead. So if you're starting ahead with a 750 or 800 credit score, and you're paying 3% or 4% opposed to 18%, imagine all the money you're saving in interest. Same thing with a house. If you're applying to go get a house and you get approved for 3%, again, you're paying so much lower than that person that's at 15 or 10%. Yeah. And even, anything in life, when people see that you have good credit, they roll out the red carpet. And they're not asking you questions. You're telling them, how can you earn my business? And that's how they approach it, because they know that you're a low-risk borrower. They know they're going to get their money. High-risk borrowers, honestly, they're going to treat you like crap, because they're going to think that you're ignorant, or they're going to think you're not responsible with your money, so they just see you as another person walking in the door that they're going to slam in terms of just throwing the whole book at you, and whatever they can get, you'll get. So I would say, starting out as a parent, learning and knowing the knowledge, start your kids out early. Make them authorized users on your credit accounts so that as they grow year after year after year, their credit is just growing. And they have no idea. And they're not even going to know what you did for them until they're old enough for you to break it down like, this is how I started you out ahead of the curve.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because my mom actually just recently found that out because she had a gas card. And she put me and my sister as authorized users on there, and it was actually helping. Like, my sister actually noticed it first. It was actually helping her credit. Yep. And because she started seeing, I didn't notice it, but it started helping her build up her credit because my mom was paying off that card and everything. Mm-hmm. So because I think I eventually noticed it because I went to Credit Karma, and I saw something. I'm like, I don't own this card. That's my mom's card. Yep. But it was still helping out my credit for somehow.
Yeah. So to continue with that, so if I was to go to my mom right now and be like, can you make me an authorized user on your credit card that you've had, say, 10 years? Mm-hmm. That 10-year history would go to my credit card.
Automatically, it'll show like you've been up there for 10 years. Here's the thing, and this is what I warn people about. Before you ask people to make you an authorized user, now, if they've been doing good, it's definitely going to affect you positively. Mm-hmm. If they've been late on payments and they're, in collections, or, they're late and their credit limits are in high limits, meaning if they have $15,000 up there, if they owe $15,000, tell them, do not make you an authorized user because it's going to drop your score. So if you know somebody that's responsible with their money and responsible with their credit cards, by all means, tell them to make you an authorized user, and it's going to positively affect you. And this is what I tell people. Even if you don't want to be up there long term, if somebody makes you an authorized user and it's showing that you've had positive credit for 10 years, if you go out and you apply for your own credit card, you're going to automatically get approved for it because the lender and the financial institution is going to look on your credit report and be like, hey, this guy's been, a positive payment on his credit for 10 years and he has $15,000 worth of credit. I don't mind giving him another 5 or another 10 because he already shows that he's a low-risk borrower and he's responsible. So then, if they don't feel comfortable having you as an authorized user long term, after they put you up there and you go get your own credit, tell them, hey, take me off. I have my own credit now.
All right, I'm about to go into a music break right quick, but like when we come back, I definitely want to ask you about like because I know like when people get married, I want to know about that, how that credit actually, because like I heard that it kind of joins together. All right, I want to ask you that question when we come back, but I want to go into a music break right quick so we can continue at getting more educated on this and everything, and we're also going to get all your information so you can give out people so they can actually get connected with you to get more information. Okay. But first track that I'm about to play is Real Dynamite with Drumstick. This is Real Dynamite with Drumstick. All right.
Hey, Dynamite. Hey, Hey, drum on the stick. Hey, I'm tryna be like a kid. Yeah, I caught the whip with the kids. She take off her clothes like they don't fit. Yeah, young, tall, and skinny, I'm fit. Tattoo my body, I'm lit. Yeah, tatted her head to my toes. Let it shadow on all of my foes. Get the bag, get it, I never let go. Get the bag, get it, I never let go. Get the bag, get it, I never let go. Get it back, I never let go. Take a number, stand in line. I give you what you want. Green light, Steph Curry. I can let go when I want. Give me my change. Please, just give me my change. They love you so much when you broke. Well, I'm sorry I changed. Change of plans. I heard your mans was chasing hands. I make the bank deposits like I am Dizzy Grams. I put a V on my mask. I put a mask on my neck. No, I'm not talking computers. When I say I'm good with my tech, I got the white like I'm Czechoslovakian. Truck in the front, but I still throw the body in. Trigger as light as a bobby pin. I cut the girl like cesarean. I push the horse like a chariot. This Chino Hills with the cherry pink. Ballin', ayy, drum on the stick. I'm tryna be like a kid. Yeah, I cut the whip with the kids. She take off her clothes like they don't fit. Yeah, young, tall, and skinny, I'm fit. Tats on my body, I'm lit. Yeah, tatted up head to my toes. I did this shit on all of my foes. Get the bag, get it, I never let go. Get the bag, get it, I never let go. Get the bag. Get it, I never let go. Get it back, get it, I never let go. Dynamite, baby, I'm poppin'. You don't really be running option. Over the pop with concussions. Wrist automatic concussion. Fully automatics at the concert. Block a knock again, nigga, this Converse. Cut the talking, I ain't tryna converse. This a felon rapping, this a Converse. That is a bar, big fella. I'm on a bar, big fella. Yeah, still rolling the out the jar, big fella. Oh, he weak. Oh, get us some milk. Oh, let's shout to your baby mama. To me, she a MILF. My money is dirty like filth. Yeah, my whippy go skirt like a kilt. I'm from the dirt like it's silk. Yeah, I pour up a 4 and no smell. Tough like a 4, how I'm built. Yeah, I'm on 100 like Wilt. Yeah, your OG is soft and it's silk. Whoa, I spray the banana and peel like raw, 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 raw. Hey, Jay, pass me another drum. I ain't done. Dynamite sauce. Hey, look, drum on the stick. Hey, I'm tryna be like a kid. Yeah, I caught the whip with the kids. She take off her clothes like they don't fit. Yeah, young, tall, and skinny, I'm fit. Yeah, tats on my body, I'm lit. Yeah, tatted her head to my toes. With a shot on all of my foes. I shit it, get it, I never let go. Never let go. Get it, I never let go. Fire sauce. Yeah. Keep cooking. Drums on it. Get it. Jump on the stick. My pot is so hot. Yeah, you know,
Whatever you do, don't blow my buzz or my high. I'm trying to feel the vibes. I feel the vibes. Whatever you do, don't blow my buzz or my high. I feel the vibes. I feel the vibes. I was a young little tricky Mickey Sticky spitting raps, talking about the trap cats and some of this and some of that. I started off like 1, 2, microphone check. 1, 2, mic check. I'm about to catch wreck. Give me the mic. I'm nice and any get sight. Running around you in the circle, used to flow till I turn purple. Now I just lay in the cut, drinking champagne and smoking purple. The chronic for the mind, I'm drinking mimosas for the vocals. I'm popping like Cristal in 96. Let's get it. It's a celebration. If vigilante click is the confederation. We growing by the day, these niggas that he hating. I need a vacation for meditation. Medicating THC, this ain't a regular vape. I realize I'm ahead of the race, they running in place. Logan, I'm not your peer, you're not in my space, not in my zone, you ain't seen what I seen. I live what I speak, so I say what I mean. I mean what I say, so when I say that I mean, I murder tracks all season, believe it. Whatever you do, don't blow my buzz or my high. I feel the vibes. I feel the vibes. Whatever you do, don't blow my buzz or my high. I feel the vibes. I feel the vibes.
You're playing me, overlooking me like I ain't been putting work in this. Yeah, alright.
I remember when you tried to play me. I remember when you broke. Said to him, my baby. I remember selling nicks now. Riding cut of smoke. I remember picking rich now. Picking broke. I remember when you trying not to play my CD. Now remember when you see my so fucking TV wanna get a shout out. Say Millie, yo, hold us down. I remember studio take out. Was not a friend. Hey, cause my nigga got it loose. Say my nigga move like post. Cause my got the juice. And my got the sauce. Yeah, my nigga got the loot. And my nigga off the push. Now my in the Porsche. Now I'm fucked of course. That's how you turn nothing into something. I bought the Jackie Chan's. How we do the stunting. Yeah, man, cause we got the city gravy. I like this dad screaming, you pay me, huh? Do you remember me? Cause I remember you. Top down, switching lanes, swerving in the cool. Blowing smoke out the window, screaming what it do. Had to tell myself it's real when you ain't have a clue. Do you remember me? Cause I remember you. Do you remember me? Cause I remember you. Top down, switching lane to lane, swerving in the cool. Had to tell myself it's real when you ain't have a clue. Now that we got the city litty, pull up that, so for friend and kitty. They know that we got to stay low-key. We getting cake, so we keep an eight smoking. If avatars, the squad is the entourage. Used to be nobodies, now we full dog. To smoking loud, but we move quiet. To flow disturbing the peace, start a fire. We locking that shit, whips, we dropping that shit. Clips, we popping that shit. When it's popping they lips, yeah, we be rocking they shit. With hollow tips, this 4 pound get around. It's like the dub, Tupac in it. Remember me? Sipping no Hennessy, frontin' on my enemies. I'm gon' live to see 93. Remember me? Sipping no Hennessy, frontin' on my enemies. I'm gon' live to see 93. Hey, do you remember me? Cause I remember you. Top down, switching lanes, swerving in the cool. Blowing smoke out the window, screaming what it do. Had to tell myself it's real when you ain't have a clue. Do you remember me? Cause I remember you. Do you remember me? Cause I remember you. Top down, switching lane to lane, swerving in the cool. Had to tell myself it's real when you ain't have a clue.
Alright, we're back. And I've been forgetting to actually mention this because I honestly forgot which songs I just played. But I played first track I played was Real Dynamite with Drumstick. Second track was Snipe Luciano, Feel the Vibe. Third track was Busby Millions with Remember Me. And just to let you know, first track I played was Real Dynamite with Drumstick. Second track was Snipe Luciano, Feel the Vibe. Third track was Busby Millions with Remember Me. And just to let you all know, if you're actually listening to us on Spreaker.
You good there?
Nah, it started saying it's reconnecting. I don't know what's going on with the because it's showing that I'm.
Uh-oh. It does say that.
Showing that I'm connected, so I'm not sure exactly why it's doing that. Is it showing on the thing that
we're live? It says we're live.
We're live.
It's back live.
We're live,
Okay.
baby.
Well, I'm not 100% sure if we're still on Spreaker or not. I gotta check on that because it's just saying reconnecting. So hopefully it's still on the Spreaker. But just to let you know, if you listen to us on Spreaker, if you look underneath, it shows the exact songs that we play in order, the artist name, and that's everything like that. All right, so I'm not 100% sure if it's still, because like I said, it's still showing reconnected. I'm not sure why it's actually doing that because the internet's up and everything. So, well, we're gonna keep on going and everything. But right before the break, what I was gonna ask you about, I know like when people get married, they inherit their spouses credit and everything.
Yeah.
Like, how does that actually work and everything? Because I know that's one thing. Like, it seems like it's the trend now that people want to know what their spouse's credit is and stuff like that, and that's actually a deal breaker nowadays, I heard.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we were talking about off the air a little bit, I just helped a lady. I'm currently in the process of helping her even more. She was married, she got divorced, and a lot of her husband's debt she acquired that really wasn't even her debt. So once she got divorced, what we're working on now is disputing all of those things that her husband pretty much kind of pushed on her as they were married to get those negative things off of her credit report. Because like you said, you do acquire your mate's debt at the end of the day, because you get their last name, you get married. It's a contract. It's a legal binding contract when you get married, and everything is together. So yes, that would be important to see what type of debt that your mate does have before you do get married to him. And if it doesn't matter to you, that's fine. If you love them, you love them.
Yeah.
You work on it and you build out together. But it is not going to be their debt no more. It's going to be y'all's debt. It's going to be together. But when you do get divorced, that is something that can be disputed. We can get that off your credit report in a jiffy.
Now, how long does it take once you're going through the divorce and you're trying to get that stuff off of that person's credit? How long does it take for that process to happen?
So typically, and I always say it's a case-by-case basis, but the way that I do business and the type of person I am, I always like to tell people worst-case scenario first, because I would rather under-promise and over-deliver than over-promise and under-deliver. Okay. So worst-case scenario, you're looking 3 to 6 months, but I have seen in some cases people get things off of their credit report in a month, 2 months, even, like I said, 3 months. But longest I've seen is 6, maybe 7. That was the absolute longest, and that was very rare occasions. But 3 to 6 months is typically what I tell people, just to have a very realistic view of things.
Okay. Now, with coming out of, because that was something that I was coming out of. I've just come out of divorce not too long ago. And getting all that stuff off of your credit. Now, you have to go back into the rebuilding stage.
Absolutely.
So when you're going back into that rebuilding stage, what would you recommend for someone to do?
My first recommendation, depending on, so if you're, like you said, coming out of divorce and you're like, all right, I need to rebuild. If you have some negative things, definitely dispute those negative things, get them off so there's nothing weighing you down. And if you have at that point no car loan, no house or no rent reporting up there, you definitely want to try to get some type of credit card, whether it's secured or unsecured, depending on what situation you're in. If you have a car, maybe try to finance a car. Again, like we talked about briefly earlier, if you know a family member that definitely is cool with making you an authorized user on their accounts to help give you a quick boost, especially if they've had that card for a number of years. It's so many different variables that you can do. And it's all about, and that's why I always tell people, empower yourself, because nobody's going to care about your situation like you. And I tell people that all the time. It's just like when you start out a business, when you start your own business. If you leaving your business in the hands of somebody else, more than likely you're not going to succeed. You got to be proactive, and you have to be able to exhaust every single last option that you possibly can to meet the goal that you want at hand. that just is what it is. Unfortunately, I try to help as much as I can, even if I'm not even getting paid on it. You know, that's just the type of person I am. I believe in karma. I believe in, you know, if you help enough people get what they want, you know, you'll always get anything that you want. So I just have that natural, I'm a giver, and I always want to add value in as many ways as I can. But my number one way of doing that is empowering people. So giving you knowledge and education as I'm helping you fix your credit. That's typically what I do when I do for people. So when you get signed up with our company, and I'll kind of go through a little bit later the cost and exactly what we do. But, you know, I get you set up and we're getting your credit fixed, but at the same time, you're giving the tools and the resources. So if you do want to learn, which I think everybody should want to learn for themselves, because I think it's a pivotal part of financial literacy, because credit is just a huge thing in America now. It's a crazy, Harvard did a study, and more people are actually living off of credit and loans than they are actual liquid cash than ever before in history.
Wow.
Yes. So credit, it's good, and at the same time it's bad, just depending on how you use it. Because people are actually able to live a lifestyle that they never would have been able to live before if they were just dependent on their liquid cash. Credit is giving them the opportunity to be able to expand their lifestyle. But you have to have responsibility and know how to maintain that sense of lifestyle. Because you get a lot of these people that want to keep up with the Joneses. You know, like they want to go get that new Mercedes, even though they just bought a car 2 years ago. They want to go get that new car, or they want to go get a bigger house. If you don't need it, don't get it. But at the same time, if you want to live a nice life, live a nice life. But know to live in your means. I live below my means. That's just the way that my mindset is structured now, to want to get ahead exactly to meet a goal that I want to meet.
Yeah.
So I would say definitely, depending on your situation, like I said, and you know, everybody's case is different. Absolutely try to, you know, get a credit card, whether it's unsecured or secured. Try to get some authorized users. Here's another thing that probably a lot of people don't know. You can actually pay for trade lines. So what a trade line is anything like a house, a car payment, a credit card. So there's companies out there, and you got to be careful, because some of these companies are kind of sketchy. You can pay them to put, you know, trade lines on your credit report. But all a trade line is something reporting on your credit report. So an authorized user, a credit card, that's a trade line. A car, that's a trade line. A house, that's a trade line. So there's free ways that you can go about getting trade lines, like being an authorized user, rather than going to a company and paying them to put a trade line on your credit report. Because a lot of those trade lines cost thousands of dollars. A lot of these companies are making buku dollars off of that stuff. I'm not in the business of, you know, selling people trade lines and stuff like that, so I don't speak on that, you know, in specific. But I just know there is an industry, there is, you know, a need for that. A lot of people buy that.
Now, I know earlier you said that you dropped a gem on us with letting everyone know that one of the reasons why, you know, the white community, the Asian community does so much better than the African American community is because of what they do with adding their children on to at a young age.
Yep.
So have you seen any other things that they are doing as far as with their credit that's also getting them ahead that we aren't doing, you know, in our community?
I would say the number one thing from what I've seen is definitely the authorized user, because that is so powerful. Because, like I said, that length of history and the payment history, the how much you owe, the inquiries, the mix of credit, all of that is being built when you make somebody an authorized user. Because they're not acquiring, or they're not getting inquiries because they're not applying for anything. If you're 7 years old, you're not asking for credit.
Yeah.
You know, so your inquiries are staying very minimal, zero, if any, before you get to 16, 18. The length of history, it is just expanding and expanding and expanding as you get older. How much you owe, whatever your parents, you know, are doing on those credit cards is going to reflect on the child's credit report, so they don't have control of that. But if a parent is smart enough to make their child an authorized user by their age, I'm pretty sure they're responsible enough to maintain that credit.
Yeah.
So that goes without saying. And then the payment history, I'm pretty sure they're making, you know, on-time payments. So that's the number one thing, and I mean, that's the biggest thing, because it's attacking the top three things that calculates your credit score, which is the payment history, how much you owe, and the length of credit. Those are the top three, and those are the biggest. So that's what's raising that credit score exponentially.
So what have you seen since doing this? What have you seen? What are like the top three things you've seen that are keeping people from achieving and having great credit?
Great question. And I actually brought the document here. Like I said, I'm going to give you guys. And anybody that wants these documents can reach out to me. My Instagram is Xavier Mee, XAVIERMEE. My Gmail is XavierMee214@gmail.com. Again, XAVIERMEE214@gmail.com. You can always reach out to me about any questions that you have. My phone number, this is, I don't mind people calling me. It's 919-539-8762. Just try not to call me past 10. But if you do, I won't be mad. You know, I'm open 24/7 for the most part. Top 6 worst things that you can have on your credit report. The number one thing is going to be charge-offs. So anytime that you fail to pay a debt to any financial institution, they write it off as a loss for their taxes for that year, they're going to charge it off. And more than likely, they're going to sell it to a third-party company, which then is going to become a collection, which is the second worst thing that you can have on your credit report. That's going to affect you negatively. The third worst thing that you can have is bankruptcy. So when you file for bankruptcy, it's going to show on your credit report. It's going to be up there for 10 years unless you dispute it to get it off. That's the third worst thing. The fourth worst thing is going to be foreclosure. So if you foreclose on a house, you know, that speaks for itself. A mortgage on your credit report is going to be the strongest things that drives your credit report. So at all costs, you're going to want to make sure that you pay that mortgage on time, month after month, every single month. The fifth worst thing that you can have is tax liens. So of course, the IRS not paying taxes, put it on your credit report. Uncle Sam is coming. And the sixth worst thing is going to be lawsuits and judgments. Those things can be put on your credit report. So to answer your question, those are the major things that most people are facing in terms of dragging their credit report down.
Okay.
I just want to say something right quick to your lordship. I don't know exactly what's going on. The Spreaker went down as well. So what I am taping on the computer, so everything's being recorded on the computer and everything. So I am going to upload the audio from what I'm taping on the computer onto our Spreaker, because I just checked Spreaker and saw that it actually stopped recording on there as well. So I do apologize for the technical difficulty, because like I am connected to the internet. I just don't know why these apps aren't working. So I just wanted to let y'all know that those that have transfer over to King Cancer's live stream and everything.
So is there anything else that well, actually, yes, there is. So let's get into your business.
Okay.
So with your business, what are the what do you offer to help people out with fixing their credit?
All right. So the number one in our flagship service is going to be the credit restoration, and that's going to be actually what my company does. So for this package, it's called the Protection Plan Membership. It's $189 up front, and it's $89 a month. And like I said, typically 3 to 6 months is what most of our clients stay on board for. Some of our clients actually maintain the membership because of all the tools and resources that they get to manage their credit and to continue to get education and to learn for themselves. So with the credit restoration, what my company does is we're going to pull all through credit bureaus. So we'll pull your credit report, and we go through your credit report and go through each and every line to see exactly what is affecting you negatively. Then we print out dispute letters that we send to you. At that point, all you do is you look at those dispute letters, you sign them, and you agree with all the things that we're disputing on your behalf. You display a Social Security, your Social Security card, and also your driver's license. This is proof of identity, so that when you send them off to the 3 different credit bureaus on your behalf, they start disputing it automatically. We have up to 5 rounds of letters that we send on your behalf to dispute the negative things that are on your credit report. Here's a pretty cool thing. So when you send out a letter to the credit bureaus, they have 30 days to respond. If they don't respond to that letter that you sent, everything that you disputed on that credit or on that dispute letter, they have to automatically take it off. By law, they have to respond within 30 days. So best case scenario is they don't respond because they get so many disputes from all the consumers in America, and they just didn't get to yours, and it automatically comes off.
Wow.
So that's the first thing, credit restoration. In this plan, we also have credit attorneys. So for example, if you're getting harassed by creditors, so like for example, they're not supposed to be calling you before 9 a.m. and they're not supposed to call you after 8. They're also not supposed to call you back to back to back. We have, with that service that you're paying, the $189 up front and $89 a month, you get free credit attorneys that work on your behalf. If you reach out to them, For no extra cost, they will reach out to these credit agencies to tell them to stop. So they're going to give them a warning. If they keep doing it, you reach back out to your attorneys. They will actually move into litigation. They will actually try to eliminate that collection agency on your behalf. And if the collection agency keeps doing it, then they actually take them to court. And if they settle for anything, then you actually will get payment for anything that they settle out of court for harassing you.
Oh, wow.
We also do wills, trust, and power of attorneys. We have a program called Debt Zero, where if you do have debts, different credit card debts or car loans or personal loans, you can actually put it into our Debt Zero program, your interest rate. You can put your payment that you pay every month, and it's going to show you how long it's going to take you based upon how much you're paying right now to finish that debt, to satisfy it. So you can kind of play with the numbers to see exactly how much you need to pay it at a quicker pace. My favorite part of it, other than the credit restoration, is a program we have called Smart Credit. Smart Credit is so cool because it actually shows you your credit score. It shows you your hiring score, and I'm going to explain this in a second. It shows you your auto score and your insurance score. A lot of people don't know that your credit score, all these different institutions use it. So when you're getting hired for some major corporations, they look at your credit score to see how responsible you are. And some of these hiring companies decide how much they're going to pay you based upon the responsibility they think that you can hold because of your credit score. They'll always let you know ahead of time they're going to check your credit, but a lot of these major corporations actually check your credit. So Smart Credit shows you your hiring risk score. It shows you your auto score. So basically when car companies look at your credit report, how they view you, it also shows you your insurance premium, so life insurance, things like that, auto insurance. It's going to show you how they view you as well, based on your credit score, and of course your credit report in terms of your credit score based on financial institutions, in terms of lending you, credit for credit cards, personal loans, houses, and auto. So Smart Credit is going to show you exactly where you stand, and it's also going to give you an action plan. So if you do have debt, it'll show you if you pay a certain amount on your debt. There's an algorithm that shows you what your credit score would be based upon how much you pay on that debt, getting it down. So there's no guessing anymore. It actually shows you exactly what you need to do, and if you do this, what your score would be. So I love Smart Credit because it gives me a game plan, and I always know exactly where I will be depending on how much I pay on certain debt that I have. So I love it. And you can actually look at your credit score every day with Smart Credit. And that's something that we provide with the service. We also are partnered with LifeLock. So with that $89 a month, you also get LifeLock as well. And they give you $1 million worth of identity fraud insurance. So if anybody ever steals your identity, you have a LifeLock account, they will actually work on your behalf, and they will pay lawyers, they will pay any type of investigators up to $1 million to satisfy any identity fraud that may be done on your behalf. So that's also pretty cool because I think in the generation that we live in now, with technology being so huge, and hackers being so easy, just look at Target, look at Equifax is a credit bureau. They're a credit monitoring service. They have their systems hacked by people. So wow. It happens. So I would say LifeLock, people have insurance on their cars. They have insurance on their life insurance. You might as well have insurance on your credit as well, LifeLock. I think it's a very good thing. And then we also have something called Positive Credit Builder, where you can actually go in and look at the history of credit, look at how to maintain credit, look at the history of credit agencies, look at how certain things affect your credit, the worst things for your credit, how to go about, being an authorized user. So it gives you the whole history, and anything that you want to learn about credit, you have a station, a little back office to go back there and learn if you're willing to learn. And again, that's $189.89 a month, which I always tell people, people always look at cost, but let's really talk about cost. What is bad credit really costing you? Because there's a price to getting your credit fixed, but there's also a cost if not. Because a lot of people don't understand that when you have bad credit, you're paying so much more for things than other people that have good credit. So is it worth spending $189.89 for 3 to 6 months out of your life to be able to live at a lower level of expenses for the rest of your life, because now you understand how to maintain and boost that credit? And then also, when you learn that, like I said, pass it down to your kids. They're not going to have to do this because you already have the knowledge to teach them. And now, guess what? Now they're going to pass it down to your kids. And now you've empowered them and the rest of the generational line to come. So I always tell people, look big picture. Because now with this generation, everybody is so into instant gratification. Like, what can you do for me right now? What can you do for me right now? Certain things take time. It is what it is. I think social media is great, but at the same time, it's done good and it's done bad because everything is at our fingertips. Google, Instagram, Twitter, anything you want to look up, you can find. So people have this expectation that everything's supposed to happen right now, but that's not how life works. Some things take time. I remember I watched soccer a little bit. Lionel Messi, you know, people always say that he was an overnight success, and he had a quote where he said, "It took me 10 years to become an overnight success. All the work that I was putting in on the field when nobody was there, all the reading, all the personal development that people didn't see me doing. Once I got to the stage, I was prepared, and that's why I succeeded, because of the preparation." And a lot of people, they talk about it in Think and Grow Rich and all these different personal development books, your 10,000 hours, putting in that time in developing that masterful craft and whatever you're doing, that expertise, putting in the time to be able to be prepared for the opportunity. Because that's what success is, when preparation meets opportunity. Because a lot of people get the opportunity, but if they're not prepared, can't do anything with it. And there's some people that's prepared, they're just waiting for that opportunity. But you can best believe when the time comes, they're going to knock it out the park because they've already practiced. They're ready. And that's all this is. It's just understanding the rules so that when the game comes, you can win.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to discuss that we hadn't touched on? Or did you want the listeners to know?
I would say the number one thing is just outside of credit. I pride myself on always trying to grow, 1% each day. And the way I look at it is there's 365 days in a year. So just imagine if you grew 1% every day, you grew 365% in 1 year. Just imagine what you can do by gaining one piece of knowledge every single day to compound. And think about compound interest. And a lot of people, like I said, they're so stuck on instant gratification. They want everything to happen right now. If you're growing, if your money is growing, if your mind is growing 1% a day, just imagine where you are at the end of 365 days. So look at your credit, look at your life, look at your finances, look at everything. It's just taking it one day at a time and just trying to learn one new thing and trying to get better. Just always learn that the biggest investment that you can ever make, it's not in credit, it's not in a business, it's not in a person, it's in yourself. Because at the end of the day, whatever business you want to run, whatever goal that you have, the only way that you're going to get there is if you invest in yourself, because your mind creates everything. If you can see it, if you can conceive it, if you can believe it, then you can achieve it.
Awesome. Well, DJ, you got anything else you want to say or ask?
Yeah, I was busy trying to get all this. I was paying attention and everything, but yeah, I was trying to get everything, seeing what's going on with this and everything. But yeah, you basically answered all my main questions and everything on repairing everything. As far as cause I don't know, like, did you tell people how they can get in contact with you and everything? Give your socials and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm. I gave them my Instagram, and I'll go through it. I'll kind of go through it one more time. So, guys, my Instagram is Xavier Mee. One of the most unique names you can find. I don't know too many people with the last name Mee, so you should be able to find me. So XAVIERMEE is my Instagram. My email is Xavier Mee, so my first and last name, Xavier Mee 214@gmail.com. My phone number is my direct contact, 919-539-8762. If you want to talk, the best way to get to me, because I'm always getting people calling me, send me an email first and we can set up a consultation call. I do free consultations all day, and we can kind of figure out what's the best means and the best method to get you going on the track of wherever you want to get to. Whatever goal you're looking to reach, I want to help you, set out a plan so we can get you there. So definitely email me. You can hit me up on Instagram as well. I love people interacting with me on Instagram. So even if you want to drop a comment under some of my pictures to get me or DM me, I'm always interacting and engaging with people. I love doing that. I'm always loving to bring value to my community. I actually do Instagram lives as well every Thursday. I think I'm going to start doing Tuesday as well because of some of the reactions I'm getting from a lot of the community. So definitely tune in every Thursday on my Instagram. I do lives and I give out tips, and I'm just always kind of increasing that foundational knowledge that people need, because I think consistency is a lot of things that people struggle with as well, including myself. So staying consistent is something that's going to continue to get you to that goal that you want. Because the way that a river powers through a rock, it's not because the river is so strong, but it's because it's persistent and it's consistent. Yeah. So that's exactly how you got to approach life in every way. You got to be consistent. So Definitely reach out to me on all my social media, my email, my phone number. I'm definitely more than happy to speak with anybody for sure.
All right. Whoa. Did you give out that gem?
Oh my God! Thank you for reminding me. Here we go. So, guys, I was gonna give it to this guy, but I told him I felt very generous today, and I wanted to give you guys a tip, and I mean an absolute diamond on how you can raise your score without doing anything in terms of hiring me and my company. This is just an extra incentive. Just wanted to bring you guys some value. If you take this tip and you do it, it will raise your score between 30 to 50 points in 60 days. If you go to a website, write this down, www.optoutprescreen.com. I'll spell it for you, www.optoutprescreen.com. What this is going to do is it's going to opt you out for solicitations for insurance and credit cards from the 3 major credit bureaus for 5 years. So you go on there, go on that website, and you opt out for 5 years. You cannot have anybody pull your credit report for 60 days when you do this. After that 60-day period, your score will go up 30 to 50 points. You can do this. This is the key, and I learned this from an expert mortgage lender. This is what they would do for people that would come to them and want to buy a house that were just shy of that credit score that they needed to be approved for that house loan. They would give them this website to go up there and opt out for solicitations for credit cards and insurance from the major 3 credit bureaus. Go up there, opt out for 5 years. You can do this every 5 years to increase your score 30 to 50 points. So it's something that I think is a real gem because you can do it every 5 years. Tell as many people as you want. I usually charge people to tell people that information, but because you guys tuned in to my man's radio show today, I wanted to give y'all an incentive. I wanted to help you out. So again, go to that website, opt out for 5 years. There'll be 2 choices: opt out forever or opt out for 5 years. Opt out for 5 years. Don't do it forever, because if you opt out forever, then you can't do it every 5 years.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and just give it to them one more time, just in case they didn't have
one more time. I got you. www.optoutprescreen.com.
OPTOUT.
Prescreen.com.
PRESCREEN.com.
Yep, and again, once you opt out for the 5 years, don't have anybody pull your credit report for 60 days, and your score will go up 30 to 50 points.
Oh man, well I definitely appreciate that, because I'm about to go and do that myself.
Yeah. And I, like I said, I do apologize about the technical difficulties. I'm not 100% sure what's going on with the connection and everything. But like I said, I was recording the actual broadcast on my computer. So I am going to, because right now, I believe on the podcast, it just has the first half of it. But what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to go home, edit it, and chop up the audio on here, attach it, so it'll be, everything will be on there, and everybody will be able to get all this information and everything. And also, like always, I'm going to try to get these videos up on YouTube as well. So
let me say one thing for the people: when you do reach out to me, especially phone calls, if I don't answer back within 30 minutes, I usually always answer within an hour to 2 hours. I am partnered with Leith Automotive Group out here in Raleigh, and I'm also partnered with a real estate company. So I do have a high influx of customers that call me. So I just want to make sure I'm not, not answering or not reaching back out to anybody. But usually it can take me an hour to 2 hours, because I have a high influx of people that do reach out to me. So definitely be patient with me. When we do talk, trust me, it'll be worth your while. We'll help you as much as I can.
Y'all hear? So don't be mad at this man if you can't answer his phone, y'all. He gonna get back to you.
All right. Is there anything else you want to say, Cancer?
No. I mean, what are we gonna go ahead and
because
for the night?
Yeah, because
One last thing.
Okay.
Go Lakers. LeBron is my man. LBJ in the house.
Now, are you just a LeBron fan, or are you a Lakers fan?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a LeBron fan. When he was in Cleveland, I was in Cleveland. When he was in Miami, I was in Wade County. Here in LA, it's Lake Show now, baby.
Oh no! Oh man! Well, I ain't even gonna be mad at you, bro. I can't even be mad at you for that one. LeBron he is a good player.
I always tell people, man, yeah, I ain't a bandwagoner, but I mean, I gotta follow my boy. Unfortunately, he's been on 3 different teams, so I've been traveling with him.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Well, all I got to say is y'all know where y'all can find me. Follow me. Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. It's KingCancer_1914. My Facebook fan page is King Cancer 1914. Go and follow me on all of that. I do have a personal page. If my personal page is Brian McLean, so you can follow me on that too as well. Thank you for tuning in and watching. I hope you guys really learned a lot because I know I did, and I've been trying. I've been working on rebuilding my credit. So this was actually very helpful, and I definitely appreciate you coming in, man.
No doubt, man.
We got to have you back up here again, man.
Okay.
We're gonna have to have you back up here again.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk sports, man.
All right.
Now that you done come out and say you're a LeBron fan, we definitely gonna have to talk some sports.
That usually opens up a box of worms right there, man. It's all good.
So I hope y'all enjoyed the show, and that's all I got for you, man. We got, and for our co-host, Joy was on the phone, but we lost her. You can follow her. I don't even know why I'm giving her information out here, but you can follow her at Joy D's. That's her fan page. I think, is that her Instagram as well?
No, her Instagram.
Creativities _D's. Creativities DEES. That's her Instagram page. Her fan page is Joy D's. And then we have Angela. Ordinary Ange is her fan page. And I can't remember her Instagram. Oh, Pretty Hurts. Is it _Hurts?
Yeah, 1984.
Okay. Yeah, he said the rest of it. So, and then we have James, King James V 1.0. That's his fan page. We were trying to get his likes up. I think we last checked, it was like 10. It might be a little bit more now, but we're trying to get his fan page up too. So please go like and follow all my co-hosts, all their pages. And again, if you're looking for, new talent as far as acting or anyone that's, you need a host to host parties or whatever, you can hit me up. I'm looking to jump into it and get working. So that's all I got for you, man.
All right. And next Tuesday, we actually have a personal trainer on the show. He's going to be coming in. He's actually one of the flag football coaches for the flag football league that we're actually going to be entering in. He actually coaches the Quiet Storms. But other than that, and Saturday, if you're a business owner or anything, make sure that you get your tickets at Together. Together is Everything. He's actually going to be there as well, so you can actually meet him in person. That's togethereseverything.net/event. That's togethereseverything.net/event. And I already talked to Ty about this because I know I had some question. It looks like you actually doing a membership to the website. He actually told me it's a one-time thing. It's just for the tickets, but even though it actually said membership, it's not you purchase a membership to the website, so it's not going to continuously charge you. If you get your tickets, and I believe that if you go to his Instagram, there's actually a discount code that you actually can go to. So if you go to his Instagram, Together is Everything, you also will get a discount code if you get your tickets now. All right. I can't play the outro music right now, but let me see if it'll allow me to do that. But this show has been quarantined. We'll see y'all Tuesday. All right.
Hey, this is Nola out there. You are now rocking with Ilma.
Take that.
What up, Warren? It's your man 504 Detroit. You already know every Tuesday, every Thursday.
Like I said,
the hottest radio station across the land. Quarantine Radio. They put it down. They put all the hottest music. Let's get it.
Yeah, I know, man.
It's your boy David. I want to give a big shout out to Quarantine Radio. Make sure you check them out every Tuesday and
Thursday. And thank you for supporting my new single, Down Low.
I want to hear that you're still free listening to Quarantine Radio.
Yo, what's up, man? It's the kid, Silver Baby, Young Swift. One time for the check-in with my dog, my homie, Ill McKenzie. Straight out of ATL, Georgia. And you know how we rockin' out here, baby. Let's get it.
Being humble, humble get no respect.
Regardless of where he's been. Yeah, no doubt. I definitely respect that man for that.
I don't get into the debate with him and MJ, and I think, LeBron's my favorite player. I'm not gonna say he's better than MJ. MJ is MJ. He's set so much precedent. I don't think nobody will tackle down MJ just because of the type of things that he did and the time that he did it. You know what I'm saying?
People who say, and like I'm like you, like LeBron is one of my favorite players.